The Midnight Visitor by Robert Arthur features Ausable, an unconventional secret agent whose ordinary appearance initially disappoints the young writer Fowler. The situation turns tense when Max, an armed rival, breaks in to steal a confidential missile report. Relying on sharp wit rather than force, Ausable invents a story about a balcony outside the window and convinces Max that the police are arriving. Panicked by a knock that is actually from a waiter, Max jumps out and meets his death. The story demonstrates that intelligence and presence of mind can outweigh physical strength, and it ends with exercises that help students examine Ausable's clever tactics and the story's suspenseful construction. Welcome, agents. Take a look at that top secret stamp on the folder. We aren't just reading a short story today, we are cracking open a confidential case file on deception. The typewriter font and the gritty texture of the paper immediately set a noir atmosphere, preparing us for a world of spies and shadows. Understanding the genre like this helps you predict the tone before you even read the first sentence. Let's open the dossier and see what secrets lie inside. Every great mystery starts with a setting that feels just a little bit off. Notice how the gloomy French hotel and the 6th floor are highlighted. The author, Robert Arthur, deliberately chooses a boring backdrop for high-stakes danger. This creates immediate tension because we know something explosive involving those new missiles is about to happen in this dull room. It teaches us that atmosphere is just as important as action in storytelling. Here we have a classic face-off, but the traits listed aren't what you would expect for a hero and villain. Look at the sharp contrast between the slender, fox-like Max and the very fat Ausable. While Max's profile relies on a pistol, Ausable's power comes from his knowledge of human nature. This visual comparison proves that in this narrative, psychological depth beats physical agility every single time. Let's trace the choreography of this mental chess match, step by step. Follow the path from the initial entry to the climactic scream, paying attention to how the deception begins long before the end. Ausable plants the seed of the balcony lie early, turning a simple conversation into a deadly weapon. This timeline reveals that the climax wasn't an accident, but a carefully engineered result of quick thinking. This is the genius of the deception visualized in blue and white. Compare the actual room on the left, which has a sheer drop, to the phantom balcony Max imagines on the right. Ausable's believable annoyance and specific details about the next apartment painted that imaginary structure in Max's mind. It vividly demonstrates that the most dangerous traps are the ones we build in our own heads. Let's look under the hood of the story to see what makes it tick. Focus on the scale weighing the brain against the bicep. It visually proves the mind-over-muscle concept. The drama masks reinforce the appearance versus reality conflict, reminding us that the fox-faced spy was the fool and the messy man was the master. Identifying these themes is the secret ingredient to writing high-scoring analytical essays. Authors are like mechanics, and here are the tools Robert Arthur used to build this engine. Notice the wrench labeled irony. It twists our expectations about what a spy room should look like. Meanwhile, the paintbrush of imagery colors the scene with musty corridors and black nights to heighten the suspense. Recognizing these devices helps you appreciate not just what happened, but how the writer made you feel it. To think like a detective, you have to speak the language. Zoom in on the word prosaic. It is a sophisticated way of saying dull, which perfectly describes Fowler's disappointment. Understanding terms like countenance and weaselly adds flavor to your character descriptions. Expanding your vocabulary toolkit allows you to decode the text's subtle clues with precision. Now it is your turn to step into the analyst's chair. Look at the puzzle piece. It represents the missing link in our understanding. Specifically, when exactly Ausable hatched his plan. Debating whether it was instant improvisation or a pre-planned strategy forces you to scour the text for evidence. This kind of critical thinking transforms you from a passive reader into an active detective. Imagine James Bond, tuxedo, gadgets, martini, and then throw that image completely out the window. Notice how this model answer emphasizes Ausable's gloomy hotel room and sloppy appearance instead of Hollywood glamour. This contrast is vital because it highlights that his true superpower isn't a weapon, but his agile mind. In exams, always pinpoint this irony. The hero is effective because he looks ordinary, defying the suave stereotypes we see listed here. Panic is the enemy of intelligence, and this slide breaks down exactly how our protagonist conquers it. Focus on the progression in the analysis, moving from calmness to inventiveness, and finally to seizing opportunity. It shows us that his lie about the balcony wasn't just a random fib, it was a psychological trap sprung at the perfect moment. Mastering this structure helps you write long answers that don't just summarize the plot, but analyze the strategy behind the victory. Spying might seem far-fetched, but the core skill shown here is something you use every day. Look at the light bulb moments connecting this story to handling a tough oral exam or changing strategies in sports. It is about shifting from physical solutions to mental agility when you hit a wall. Literature becomes a tool for life when you realize presence of mind is just a fancy way of saying, keeping your cool when the pressure is on. They say seeing is believing, but in this story, believing what you see can get you in serious trouble. Scan the reality column to see how every single threat listed on the left was actually harmless or completely manufactured. The imminent police raid was just a waiter, and the safe escape route was actually a deadly drop. This table is your ultimate cheat sheet for the story's central theme. Never underestimate someone based on a messy exterior. Your investigation doesn't end when the case file closes. Look at the Dossier Blue folder for your next steps. The creative writing prompt asking for Fowler's journal entry is the perfect way to test if you truly understand his character arc and shattered expectations. Comparing Ausable to the twists in O. Henry's work, shown on the right, will sharpen your ability to spot irony in other texts. It is the best way to turn a single story into a broader understanding of mystery fiction. And just like that, the mission is complete. That bold red case closed stamp signals the end of our analysis, but the skills you have gathered remain active. We have dissected the plot, the characters, and the themes. Now you are ready to walk into an exam and crack the code of any question they throw at you. If this lesson helped you, please like and share it with others who may benefit. Subscribe to Pragna Education for more clear, concept-driven learning. Keep learning, keep growing with wisdom.